Have you ever wondered why the wisest people in the room often say the least? Why silence can sometimes feel louder than words? In a world that celebrates noise and fast opinions, silence has become rare. And that's exactly what makes it powerful. The Stoics understood this long ago. They believed that silence isn't weakness, it's strength. As the Stoic philosopher Zeno of Citium once said, "The reason why we have two ears and only one mouth is so we might listen more and talk less." Silence gives you space to think clearly, observe deeply, and act wisely. It protects your peace, keeps your dignity, and often says more than 1,000 words ever could. Before you react, before you speak, pause. Because sometimes silence speaks louder, hits deeper, and lasts longer. In today's fast world, silence is not just power. It's a rare form of self-control. The Stoic view on silence. The Stoics believed that silence is a sign of inner strength. It's not about being shy or weak. It's about being in control. Epictetus once said, "Keep silence for the most part and speak only when you must." For them, silence was not just avoiding noise. It was a tool for wisdom. When you are silent, you're listening. Not just to others, but to your own mind. You're observing your thoughts, your emotions, and the world around you. This gives you time to think clearly before speaking. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and a great Stoic, often reminded himself to be silent, or let your words be worth more than silence. In a world full of noise, silence becomes rare and powerful. Stoics didn't believe in reacting quickly. They believed in thinking first, then responding with calm and clarity. Silence, for them, was not empty. It was full of control, awareness, and peace. The science of silence. Modern science has started to prove what the Stoics felt long ago. In a 2006 study by Duke University, researchers found that just 2 minutes of silence was more calming than relaxing music. Silence has the power to reset your brain. It lowers stress, improves focus, and helps you think better. When your environment is quiet, your brain doesn't shut down. It actually becomes more active. In silence, your mind begins to reflect, organize thoughts, and make better decisions. This is why some of the best ideas often come when you're walking alone or sitting quietly. Neurologists also found that silence can help grow new brain cells in the hippocampus, the part of the brain responsible for memory and emotion. So silence doesn't just give peace, it can actually improve your mind. Silence in the modern world. Today, people are quick to speak, post, and respond. Silence has become uncomfortable for many. But that's what makes it even more powerful now. In a room full of noise, the person who speaks less often seems more confident. Not because they're better, but because they're not desperate to be heard. Think about it. When someone says nothing, it makes others wonder what they're thinking. That mystery creates power. Silence gives you control in situations where others are trying too hard to impress. Seneca, another Stoic philosopher, said, "It is a great thing to know the season for speech and the season for silence." Great thinkers and leaders like Steve Jobs or Barack Obama often paused before speaking. That pause was powerful. It made every word feel more meaningful. Silence helps you stand out, not by being loud, but by being different. It also protects your energy. You don't have to explain yourself to everyone. You don't need to react to every comment or prove anything to anyone. Silence can be your shield. It quietly says, "I know who I am, and I don't need approval." How to use silence as power. Start by being mindful in conversations. If someone is trying to argue, don't react immediately. Let your silence speak. It often unsettles people more than words ever could. If you're in a meeting, speak less, but listen deeply. When you do speak, people will listen because they know you choose your words with care. Use silence to avoid gossip, negativity, and useless talk. Instead of reacting emotionally, pause. Give yourself a moment to think. That space between action and reaction is where your power lies. Sometimes silence is the best response. It shows maturity, it shows control, and in many cases, it shows wisdom far more than words ever can. As the Stoics knew, and science now confirms. Your silence is not a weakness, it's a strength that only the wise know how to use. In a world full of noise, your silence can become your strength. The Stoics knew this well. Marcus Aurelius once said, "You always own the option of having no opinion. There is never a need to turn things upside down, inside out." Silence doesn't mean weakness, it means you're in control. You don't have to react to everything. You don't have to explain yourself to everyone. Epictetus reminded us, if you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. So let others speak loudly. You, stay silent, calm, focused. Because your silence speaks louder than chaos ever could.